There are a lot of things that make the Chandelier Ballroom special. As soon as you walk in the doors, you really, respect the venue, the uniqueness of it, whether it's architectural details or stories that our customers have. The history will envelop you. I will have been here for a fourth, of the existence of the Chandelier Ballroom, and I'm really proud about that.
When you think about things, it's so easy that something happens and somebody sells it and tears something down and something else comes. But this property had so much history to it that couldn't happen. It's always going to be here, and I just love the fact that it's still here, still functioning, and it's more beautiful than it was because it's being taken care of and managed properly, and it's great for the Hartford community. Feel great about being part of it. This place is phenomenal.
So the ballroom opened its doors in 1928. It was known as the Schwartz Ballroom at that point, and the Schwartz Ballroom was actually broadcast on national radio. So wherever you lived in the United States, you could tune into a station and you could hear the music that was being played live on this stage. This was the place to come to listen to all the big bands from the 1920s and 1930s. So if you can imagine having a 20-piece band playing on the stage behind me and the dance floor just filled with couples enjoying that music, it was a beautiful time. As we transitioned into the 1940s, they did start to offer this to couples to get married here. We had just come out of Prohibition. We were sliding into a new decade. War was imminent, and we still carried on with dancing and with events. There was a restaurant, which is now known as the Fireside Room. They served food there. But yeah, I guess it was status quo until World War II. The Chandelier Ballroom turned into Camp Hartford during World War II, and during that period it housed at one point up to 600 German prisoners. Their bunks were here in the Great Hall, and there was barbed wire all around the property. The prisoners, I actually had the honor of meeting a gentleman from Austria. When he walked into the ballroom, he remembered exactly where his bunk was. And many of the prisoners actually worked at local canneries and tanneries. And he shared with me that when the war was over, when this closed, they were handed a check and they were paid for every single hour. And many of them continued to reside here in the area as well after the war. All of the prisoners actually worked really hard to make sure the venue was in as good of condition, if not better, before they left. So they had painted, they had cleaned, they had made sure the venue was in really excellent condition. This place is important to not only Hartford and the state of Wisconsin, but the country. This is a really important piece of our history. And it was a hard time for the country after the war, and the ballroom had fallen on tough times as well. Was close to being closed down. Then came a man by the name of Marty Zivko. He had played here, and he found that the ballroom was up for sale, and he is the one who purchased it and took it into that next generation. He owned it from 1949 to 1981. It was known as Marty Zivko's Rock and Roll Palace. And Marty Zivko came in with a lot of energy and a lot of vigor. He brought in wrestling, he brought in roller skating. The ballroom was utilized for a lot of different things, but most people remember it for the music. People would come here, enjoy all the different bands, national acts, local acts, Performers like Ted Nugent played here, and Joan Jett and Chubby Checker. They would drink their shorties, as they said, pack the ballroom, and just enjoy the music. And then after Marty left, there was a couple different people who owned it. The Wendorf family and the Hayden family, wanted to continue the legacy that Marty Zivko had created. And yeah, it remained a place to come and have a really fun weekend.
Herb Heck was a Rotarian that called me one morning and said, Glenn Hayden's talking to a developer that wants to tear down the ballroom and build condominiums. If he sells it to them, they're going to demolish the ballroom. It hadn't been well maintained in recent years. We can't let this ballroom go down. It's a historic building in the community. The five of us that were motivated and very optimistic that we could succeed at saving this ballroom were myself, Herb Heck, John Spielman, Bob Stumpner, and Don Langenfeld. Our task was to find a way to buy this property from Glenn Hayden and his son, but how are we going to do this? None of us had the money or ability to finance this. It was not in our minds initially to be a Rotary project, because a Rotary project, how can a Rotary Club buy this ballroom? But it became that because all five of us were Rotarians. We decided our campaign was SOS, which stood for Save Our Schwartz. But this was our poster. Time went on through 96 and now we're into 97. We were strongly feeling optimistic because the people in the community were all in favor of it. But when it came down to reality, the City Council of Hartford reviewed our application for the CDA loan of $400,000 and they did not approve it. And we were devastated. We just said, hey, we're done. I feel that I was still strongly feeling there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. And so our business plan was adjusted and put together and eventually went back to the City Community Development Authority with a revised application. And the day, October 23rd, 1997, that was the day that we closed on the buying of this ballroom. It was phenomenal. It was a great day. This ballroom is a landmark in the community, and I feel like it's amazing that we were able to do this.
So in 1999, the Hartford Historic Preservation Foundation took over ownership, and that is when it was added to the State and National Register of Historic Places officially. And then I was hired in 2003. And then we really got heavily invested in weddings. That kind of became our bread and butter. All the money that we were starting to earn, we were putting back into the facility. So I got my culinary degree, built the kitchen, designed the kitchen, wrote all the recipes, hired the staff, picked the china. I myself have hosted over 1,200 weddings here. This building has survived the Great Depression, recession, war, COVID. It's got quite the story. It is a survivor. And there is a lot of love in this facility, and I think that's one of the driving forces and reasons that we're still here and just running, a good, honest business with wonderful, community support. That's really gotten us to where we are today.
Together, my dear, at twilight time. Together, at last, at twilight time. Thank you.